Hi there YouTube, Voan here today. As you can see in the background, I have Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Samurai Showdown, both for the Sega Genesis. So these two games are two of my most favorite games on the systems. So I also got their cards right here too. So that's Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and that's Samurai Showdown. So yeah, stay tuned for my future reviews of those two games because I'll be covering in-depth review for both of them. Yep, but today's not about those two games. Today is about this thing right here. Yep, this is the Sega Genesis Nomad. So this is the first or maybe the second ever handhelds that you can play real console games on. So this is essentially a portable Sega Genesis here. So you can tell it's very sleek, very bulky, with a cool, nice black shiny coloring shell case to it. Yeah, it looks really awesome here. It has this cartridge slot for you to insert those Genesis cards too. So yeah, it does look really cool. And over here you can see it has the your normal 6 buttons layout here. So you got your Y, X, Z, A, B, C. So you don't have, with this handheld here, you don't have any trouble playing any of the classic Genesis games. Basically you can just pop it in and play it. So over here you got your normal D-pad. So it works really well. Quite a really good D-pad for the time. It's not the same D-pad as the one on the controller, but it's a really nice, well-designed D-pad here. Down here you got your mode and start button. So yep, your normal mode and starts. Down here, this side you got your headphone jacks and your volume slider, so you can tune up the stereo to how high and low you want. And here you got your controller slot. So since this portable Sega Genesis can also act as a normal console too, so you can essentially play 2 players either on this portable here, or you can plug it into a TV and play it there. And here you have your normal contrast, I think. Yeah, the brightness, so you can turn up the brightness to however you want. If you're in like a very dark room, you can turn it to the highest ones. If you're outside, you can tune it down a little bit. So yeah, this side nothing. And then over here, this is the top side. You got your cartridge slot in the middle. This is the AV out, so you can use this to plug to the televisions, and you can play all your games there just like a normal console. And then here you got your power adapter plugs and the power on and off switch. On the back side you actually got this thing, battery chargers. So this is a rechargeable battery packs, by the way. So with this thing you can actually just plug in a power adapter to it, kind of like this. Yep, so that will charge the battery packs, and the battery packs will allow you to play the system for up to maybe however hours you want. But once this thing is charged, taking it out and then playing it will last you maybe up to 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe 3 hours at the most. So yeah, so this battery pack is actually not too reliable, but at least it helps you charge up whenever you want to play it. the thing is that there's also a battery pack where you install real batteries to it. So I don't have that one. I have this rechargeable ones. The thing is, this rechargeable ones doesn't charge anymore, so I can't just take this. I can't just unplug this and expect it to work. I have to always plug this back in just to play a game on this thing. So this thing right now is not really portable to me. So I will in the future I will start to see if I could find that battery packs that used to come with this thing. But yeah, this side very good. So it's a really cool design. The screen actually looks really cool too. It's not a really not a really cool indented screen, but at least it has a good size to it. So yeah, this is the Sega Genesis Nomad here. So yeah, we'll be testing it out to see how well it plays right now. So yeah, let's see. So first game we'll try for it is this thing, Comic Zone. So you can tell on the box of the Sega Nomad, if you actually see a box for the Sega Nomad, this game was actually advertised for the system. So I can see this is actually a really fun game to play for. So basically you plug the game facing the front here, so just like that. It looks like a really bulky kind of look to a handheld here. Mostly with handhelds you don't want to see the game sticking out, but for this system here, considering the Genesis cart is really big and this thing is extra big, yeah, you had to get used to this kind of style of play here. So let's turn on some Comic Zone and see how it goes. You can tell I'm trying to adjust the brightness here. So yeah, the game doesn't work, so let's give it a second try. There it goes. So Sega. Yep, just like the consoles. So that's Comic Zone right there. So let's see how it plays. Yeah, so it's kind of like a comic style beating up for the Sega Genesis here. See ya. Yeah, really fun game. So, yep. So Comic Zone works really good with this handheld. So let's try another game. Let's try Lion King. And see how the Lion King goes. So yeah, Lion King doesn't have that startup problem like Comic Zone, so that's good. We can actually play it. Some portable lion adventure here. Westwood Studios. So it sounds really good. Let's see if it plays really good too. So there's Simba. You can tell the screen is kind of a bit blurry, considering that this is one of those few handhelds that has a backlit screen at the time. It's not more technically advanced like the one we have nowadays, but it'll do. Not really particularly good at this game, but it is one of those games that you just had to learn to try and get used to it. This Lion King is actually a very good platforming game. It's just that the difficulty for it is kind of really hard. So, and with this camera here, I can't really see much of what I'm playing. There he goes. Jump on there. You can tell it works. So that's the Lion King there. And let's try one of my other favorite games, Sparkster. So this is the sequel to Rocket Knight Adventures. So if you love Rocket Knight Adventures, you'll love this game. And it's had trouble loading up as well, so some Genesis games could always have trouble starting up on this thing. So it doesn't seem like Sparkster will work anytime soon, so let's try another game. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. So we seen Mortal Kombat 1 last time. Let's see if this Ultimate one is any good. So there you go. So this is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Genesis, playing on the Sega Nomad here. So there it is. You can enter a code if you want to. So it's AC up, B up, B A down, but usually it doesn't really work that much for me. And there's the roster of characters. You basically have your 22 characters here, so I'll just choose Cyrax. Cyrax has always been my favorite, so let's try the lower towers. Wow, actually it looks and plays very good. Let's see. I'm glad that this Nomad has a 6 buttons, otherwise this game will be very complicated to play. You can tell the quality on the camera sucks, but if you can see the Nomad like I see it, it's actually looks really good. It's just that a little bit blurred there and here. Oh my gosh. Let's see, smoke. So let's see if we can beat smoke on this portable here. There it goes. Cyrax wins. Yeah, the control works really well. In this game, with the D-pad here, you can actually perform moves and perform all these interesting attacks with accurate controls. If only I had this portable back then, I would have played this game all night too. Anyways, that's Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on the Nomads. That's a really fun game. Let's try Sparkster again and see if it works this time. Okay. Might have a broken game here. Doesn't seem like it's doing any improvement with the game. Alright, so after a few cleaning here and there, we actually got Sparkster to work on this. Let's see how that plays out. So this is Sparkster for the Sega Genesis. Basically your Rocket Knight Adventure 2, okay. Rocket Knight Adventures 2 Sparksters. Stage 1. Wow, it's a fun platforming game. It's just as good as the original Rocket Knight Adventures. There he goes. Come on. Oh, we can beat him. Okay. Come on, Sparkster. Let's go. So enemies kept popping up from that rock there, so yeah. So Sparkster actually plays very well on the Sega Nomad here. Alright, so we got two other games here. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Samurai Showdown. So let's try Samurai Showdown and see how it works. So, this is one of my other favorite games. This is a very old Nomad system. Not all games work on it quite well. All the games itself is also really old. So, you just have to be gentle with them. I know, sometimes you have to blow on them, so yeah, Samurai Showdown here for the Sega Genesis. There you go. So you can tell it looks almost identical to the Sega Genesis, to the Super Nintendo version, because you can see it has all the character there except for Earthquake. So Earthquake is supposed to be on this side, right next to Nakoruru. But since the game is very zoom in, Earthquake cannot be in here. But if you play versus mode on this side here, you'll see Hamaza. So let's play Hamaru. Yeah, very awesome intro here. Let's see. Oh my gosh. So I'm finally to get in. That is a really cheap attack. Simple duper. The control works really well. you can see the fighters more detail in this version than they were on the SNES version. Alright, so let's try the second round and see how that goes. And after this, we can try Sonic the Hedgehogs. Ah. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. There it goes. So I actually able to beat Gan by playing on the Sega Nomad here. So the control works really well. The graphics look really cool. Only thing is that this Nomad, it's hard to see the screen sometimes on camera here. Okay, so let's try this last game and I'll give you my full opinions. So this is Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Genesis. Let's see. There it goes. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, one of my favorite Sega Genesis games. We tried Sonic 1 last time. Let's see how Sonic 2 fares. Ah, it looks very colorful. Very colorful, very fast, sounds very good. The camera is really sloppy in here. It doesn't do this presentation any justice. You can tell the Nomad works really well here. All the controls, all the speed, the processor here. So I can play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 just fine. There it goes. Yep. So that's Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Sega Genesis Nomad. So, yeah, that's all the game I have to show to you guys on the Sega Nomad here. So, this system here works really good, but the only thing that still kind of bothers me is the size. The size is just too big, and but everything else seems really great. The controls, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, it works really good. The screens have some little bit of blur to it, but if it wasn't for the camera, if you can play this with your own eyes, it looks really great. It's not as bright as modern backlit screen like on the GBA or the DS, but yeah, it's not too bright, it's not too sloppy there. This D-pad is actually really good. It doesn't hurt your thumb compared to the same D-pad that was on the Nintendo systems. This D-pad, you can put your finger on it all day and it's still really comfortable. But the thing that bothers me still is the size and all these extra stuff. I don't want to hold extra weight on this thing, but it seems that you are required to have those extra weight in able to enjoy games on the systems. So yeah, that's the Sega Nomad for you. You'll need the rechargeable battery packs or its own battery packs, and you will always have to have this on the back. So without this, you cannot play Nomad at all. You can play 2 players with an extra controller down here. You can play it with this on this portable, or through a television and just use this as a console if you want to. So yeah, I think it's a really cool system. It's compatible with all the games. It's missing a reset button, however, so games that do require the reset buttons will not work or will not work properly. So the only game I know of that is X-Men. So that's pretty much the only game that uses the reset buttons. Other than that, it's still a really cool handheld, a really cool portable to have. And yeah, at the time when this system came out, however, I was still enjoying my Genesis, but I never knew that it has a handheld that you can also play the console games on it. Yeah, there is no system like this on that plays Super Nintendo games. So this is actually very good on Sega's part. The only thing is that this is not created to go to compete against the Game Boy, so that is actually what the Game Gear is for. But this is pretty much Sega's way of saying, yeah, you can take your home game, the games on your home console, with you on the road. So whenever you want to play it, just plug this in and then pop it in, pop your console in and play it from there. And then once you get home, you can just pop it back on the television. That's pretty much what this portable is for. So I say if you got the money, you could try and find one for cheap. This one actually cost me just $30 to get, and that includes having this rechargeable battery thing. So yeah, a very cool handheld. This is the first of its kind, I think, or maybe the second of its kind. The first is the Turbo Express. So yeah, it's really great to play Sega Genesis games on the portable though, because I really want to play all my console games on the portables. It's good that you can play Genesis game but not Super Nintendo games. So it's quite yeah, this is something that Sega does with Nintendo. That Nintendo doesn't have any handhelds that you can play Super Nintendo games on it. So yeah, you can count the Game Boy Advance if you want, but the Game Boy Advance is its own handheld, so yeah, that actually has its own purpose. But the portable here, the Nomad, is actually a great alternative to the Sega Genesis if you just want to take it on the road, or you just want to have your games with you all the time and you're not home all the time. So yeah, that's a really cool system to have. If only there was a portable Super Nintendo, maybe we could compare the two. Yeah, the Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the Samurai Showdown, and this Nomad here. So if only there was a portable Super Nintendo. If only. If only.